If you're going through the immigration process and applying for a visa at a US embassy or consulate abroad, this video is for you. We have the latest updates from the State Department, including talking about vetting processes, new policies, how consular officers are adjudicating your visas, and information about visa revalidation inside the United States. All this information and more in this video. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Immigration Channel. In this video, we'll talk about the most updated information from the State Department as it was transferred to the Immigration Lawyers Association, and we're summarizing this for you in this video. Now remember, a lot of things have happened since the beginning of the year, how visas are being processed, what consular officers are looking at when they are providing approvals on visas, both immigrant and non-immigrant visas. And it's important for you to understand the mindset of officers and also the regulations they're receiving when they're processing your applications at embassies and consulates overseas. So I'm going to go through a list of things, including vetting processes, new procedures that are coming up very soon, including visa revocations policies and visa revalidations inside the United States potentially. So make sure you watch this video all the way until the end, so you don't miss any of the updates or the information I'll be sharing with you right now. Let's start first with the new policy that was introduced just a month ago, which is called America First policy. Now, this is a very general concept, but it's going to be following every single decision that every single immigration officer at a consulate is going to be making from now on moving forward. Now, what does it mean, America First policy? Based on an executive order that came out a few months ago, the government is saying that anything or any person that is going to be acting contrary to US policy, which is going to be against the US government in a moment, saying bad things against the government, doing things that will be jeopardizing the security of this administration, or saying things negative about this administration, will be impacted in the decision about their visas coming into the United States. Because a visa is a privilege, just like Secretary Rubio said, and no one has any obligation to give you a visa if they think that you're coming to the United States to do something bad. So for example, if you are coming to get a student visa, right, and you meet all the requirements, you have the money, you have the grades, you were accepted to school, technically you meet all the requirements in the regulations, in the FAM, Foreign Affairs Manual, you are a perfect student, but the officer discovered during the interview or through some research they've done before the interview that you posted something against this administration or in support of a Palestinian organization which supports Hamas or something like that. If you've done that, then they have the right to revoke your visa or not give you a visa at all based on America First policy, right? This is a big one right now that is happening. Now, it's also a big one in the sense that they can use almost anything to say, well, that's against our administration, right? So for example, recently Bruce Springsteen was at a concert and he said derogative things against the US government, which Trump responded, attacking him as well and also warning him. And remember, you're outside the country. When you come to the country, there's no guarantee, right? Kind of like a threat. Well, in a similar way, if you're publicly going to say things against the United States and they're going to find it on social media and they're going to use it against you at an interview, that statement alone could cause you to not only be banned from the United States for many years, but also get your visa revoked. So be careful. America First policy is now going to be across the board in immigrant visas, in non-immigrant visas, and anything else that evolves about entry into the United States. So if you apply for a green card based on marriage and they find out during the interview that you supported some terrorist organization, guess what? You're not going to get that immigrant visa, even if you waited for your husband and wife for years and years. You went to the I-130, you went to the NVC, and now in the interview they discovered this, your visa will be revoked and you will be barred from coming to the United States. So America First policy is a big one, guys, and you need to know about it. And it's going to be a driving force in how they make decisions about visas moving forward. Next is visa processing standardization. So they're going to try to standardize how they process visas across the board. So for example, when you apply for an E2 visa, Right now, France has one procedure, and Germany has another procedure. One embassy is requiring 30 pages. Another embassy is going to give you a 100-page limit. One embassy says that's why they see the source of funds. Another embassy sees source of funds differently. They're going to standardize things across the board. E-visas, H-1B visas, O-1s, but also immigrant visas. If you are required to bring a lot of documents in Manila, then maybe in Germany, they're going to require the same things, or vice versa. If they require, they'll come up with a standard throughout across the board for immigrant visas, for non-immigrant visas, for E2 visas. It's going to make it easier for people to understand that when you go to one embassy, it's going to be the same treatment like another embassy, which currently is not really the case. Therefore, the State Department and consular processing is so much different than USCIS, because with USCIS, everything is the same. When you process a green card application, you file the I-130, it will be processed no matter where you live in the country, you'll have the same adjudication. It is not the same at the moment with consular processing. So they're going to work on creating a standardized approach and a process throughout across the board. Now, before we talk about the third change, guys, if you're watching my videos every single week and you're not yet a subscriber to my channel, now is the time to do it. Go subscribe, click the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. And also give us a big like so YouTube will do what? Will show my videos to more people just like you. Now, if you need help with your immigration matters, whether it's consular processing or USCIS, all you have to do is send me a text, 619-483-4549, or go to www.immigrationasap.com. Leave your details and one of our team members will contact you ASAP. Now, let's get back into the video. Domestic visa renewal update. Now, as you remember, beginning of last year, quite a few people, almost 20,000 people, were able to get their H-1B visa stamps inside the United States. It was a pilot program. Now they stopped it. Now, is it coming back? For the moment, it's not coming back. However, there was a bill that was introduced last week, and it was introduced by a Republican, and that is going to expand this visa revalidation throughout the entire United States, and it's going to expand it beyond the H-1B program, beyond F1, beyond O1. Now, when is the bill going to be introduced again, and when are they going to vote on it? For the moment, I have no idea. But what I can tell you is that this program was quite successful, and if this administration will continue to support H-1Bs and continue to encourage high-skilled workers to come to the United States, I think that they're going to expand the visa revalidation inside the United States probably by December of 2025, moving to winter of 2026. We'll see if that will happen, but I do believe that it was successful before, and there's no reason why they wouldn't be able to expand it further. What we're going to see is implementation of many of Trump's executive orders, including the travel ban, guys. The travel ban never happened, right? There was an executive order, 60 days, they're going to review it, and then they're going to release the travel ban. Well, we're now past those 60 days, and there's no travel ban. Does it mean there will be no travel ban? No. They're probably going to work on implementing this executive order. They need more time to create the system, how they're going to be able to ban people, who is going to be banned, and how they're going to be banned. Is there going to be a red list, a yellow list, an orange list? We don't know that. But I do know that they will be implementing these executive orders, starting with now they're doing the vetting. The vetting was already part of that executive order. They're checking more and more people are getting denied, more requests for evidence are being issued. This is already being implemented. So the vetting is also coming, and the travel bans are also going to be coming. We don't know when, but it is happening. Let's talk about student visa revocation. The State Department said if new information about the student status is going to be revealed, coming from USCIS or from any other source, that student visa will be revoked remotely, obviously, which means if the student is in the United States, they will lose their visa, but not necessarily their status. That is something that USCIS will have to decide. The way the Department of State is going to notify you if your visa is revoked is through the email that you put on DS-160. Therefore, it is essential for you guys to track that email to make sure that you're aware of if and when you get a notification that your application your visa has been revoked. But you're going to see more visa revocations from things that they find out about the student, whether they've done something on social media or they stop going to school or they committed a crime or whatever that happens. Those are going to be on the rise, but If a visa is revoked, it doesn't mean that your status is canceled. And that's something for UCIS to decide, which for the moment, we're waiting for more information. Now we have an update about the National Visa Center. Now, when you walk to a National Visa Center to get your case document complete, sometimes these documents are not complete because you don't have them or you didn't submit them on time. The only and the best way to communicate with NVC is to public inquiry form. You cannot email them, you cannot call them. The longer you delay to communicate with them through the public inquiry form, the longer it's going to take for them to respond and for you to resolve the issue. It seems like there's more issues with people's affidavit of support, tax returns, financial documents. Please, guys, once you get to the National Visa Center stage, after your case is approved through immigration, make sure that you have all the documents at one shot uploaded to the NVC website, because if you don't, it's going to be very difficult to go back and forth. And as I said, the only way to communicate with you is from the public inquiry form. And that is the message they're sending to the public, which I'm passing to you. Remember, the key is to get yourself documented complete as soon as possible, get all the documents from NVC, get them to send you that email notification that you're documented complete. And at that point, you'll wait for the embassy to schedule the interview once your dates are current on the National Visa Center website. So as you can see, guys, they're trying their best. NVC is moving forward with their adjudications. They're getting more and more cases processed for interviews, but still things are slow because we have backlogs with embassies and consulates, and people are still waiting for their priority date. So they're working on making things a little bit more smooth, and your job is to give them as much possible information as early as on, so there's going to be no delays in processing your cases. Now, guys, the conclusion of all this is things are changing with the State Department. Changing in the sense that they are following this America First policy, which means that even if you have everything you need, even if you meet all the requirements, if you seem to be a problem for the United States, you're not going to come here, and your visa will be revoked, and you're never going to get your green card. So keep this in mind when you start your journey towards getting your green card in the United States. Now, let me know in the comments what you think. I'm curious to know. And as always, share this video with somebody that needs this. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you soon.